What we're gonna do today is the Orangewood Juniper rubber bridge guitar. All right, let's just get into this. It's not double boxed, but it's boxed nicely. Orangewood always includes a nice gig bag. It's one of the things I like about Orangewood. Okay, let's go ahead and unzip this thing. I have no idea what to expect. Oh, I didn't even know it was color. I thought it was gonna be sunburst. It's black. Okay, so this is the Juniper solid black satin finish rubber bridge guitar. Now, I did watch some videos, and I think, for me at least, it looks like this got popular because of Josh Scott from JHS Pedals. It seemed like he did a video and it did really well, and then all of a sudden it was a thing. And then Orangewood, like I said, they're really involved in social media because it's where they kind of built their business model around. Probably saw that video, I'm assuming, and then from there said, hey, let's start sending them to YouTube channels. So I'm no different than all the other channels you saw it from, except for we'll try to be a little bit more involved in the look at the guitar. Again, as always, to go over the gig bag, very nice, plush. I mean, for an included gig bag on a guitar, it's really nice. I printed out the specifications because, like I said, this is not normally how we do videos. Normally they send the guitar, we have it for like a month or so. I go through it, I learn everything I can, I share with you. But this guitar, I have no idea what it is. And so I thought, why not share the unboxing experience and see what I could figure out from it. So a couple things. This is a parlor shape guitar. Let's go ahead and turn it that way for you guys. This is a parlor shape guitar with a solid spruce top. It has laminated back and sides that are mahogany or sapele. They're saying mahogany, but I think, sapele. They're saying sapele. The neck is mahogany. This is a scarf joint neck. So this is a 3-piece neck. You have one piece right here, and then you have one piece here, and then this headstock is another piece. So it's 3 pieces glued together. Strings are Ernie Ball light stainless steel flat wound strings. That's something else I noticed in the videos. Everybody was playing flat wounds, which is pretty cool. I'm a fan of those. Electronics, single size rail humbucker pickup, which is an Alnico 5 magnet. So it has a bar magnet at the bottom. There's 2 rails. Interesting choice. To me, it's not the aesthetic I thought you would go for, but cool nonetheless. You have a volume control, and I like the knob they're using. This is an old Fender knob. It's a passive system, so there is no active electronics in it. These are Grover open gear tuning pegs, and they're chrome. They look nice. C-shaped neck. That I don't get. We'll check that. That's not what I would call a C-shaped neck. So, not what I think, but we'll double check. Like I said, that's why it's important. We read the copy, but then we check what they say. 24 3/4 scale and a rubber lined saddle. Now this is the interesting part. They call it a rubber bridge, but of course the bridge is wood and the saddle is rubber. So maybe it's just called a rubber bridge because it's a lot easier to say rubber bridge than rubber saddle. But technically this is the saddle piece, and that's the bridge. So it's a rubber saddle guitar, technically, if you want to, for those that care about being so technical. The nut width is 44 millimeters, satin finish. Doesn't say what it is. My guess is polyurethane, but it's not nitro. That's the important part, so you know. And then of course it has the vintage style 12 fret neck joint. So you have the 12 fret lines up right here where the guitar is. See, there's 12 frets right there. Let's see if it was in tune out of the box. Curious about that. Nope. Not that that's a prerequisite for anything, but it would be nice. Okay. If they send you a guitar like this, you're going to be so happy with the action. This is the lowest action I've ever played on an acoustic out of the box. And my entire life, I have never experienced that. We need to check everything now. So let's go ahead and tune it up. I can already tell why people like this. I can also tell immediately why people hate this. I'm sure this is a strong reaction guitar. I'm sure the comment sections are going to be equally, they hate it and they love it. This is a specialty guitar. Obviously, just looking at it, I could tell if you need to modify one of your current acoustic guitars to do this, this wouldn't be very difficult at all. I'm really shocked that the action's so low for a guitar that almost every video I saw, somebody was playing slide. It's one of those, like, I don't know if I've ever been missing this in my life kind of guitars, but it's interesting. And not interesting in the way my wife's father always says something's interesting when I think he doesn't like it. He's like, what'd you think of that? He's like, it was interesting. I don't mean like that. Okay, so we want to get into this guitar. Let's go over a couple things. First, let's do some measurements first. Should we do measurements first? No, let's do frets first. Let's play all the frets since it's in tune and see if there's any dead notes. So there's no dead notes, but this is as far as I can go. Yeah, I can't get up there. Okay, so no dead notes at all, which is really nice. Considering this action, let's share that with you guys because it feels ridiculously low for an acoustic. Let's see. Okay, off the 12th fret, we are at 1.5 millimeters. Yeah, 1.5. You got it right. I mean, that's pretty low for an acoustic. That could be because it's got the flat wound steel strings on it. So very cool. So low action, no dead frets. We'll check fret ends as we do. And okay, so let's go ahead and check that. We're going to start with the treble side. You can see right there, that cut across, so it catches a little bit, about a 3.5, maybe a 4. I would say anything above a 3, your hand's barely going to feel it. So 4, like 5 is like ridiculous. It just feels perfect. 4 is, in my opinion, like your hand can't detect it without something like this, something that's a little more aggressive. 3 on this means it could, the nylon will catch it, but your hand won't catch. And I'd say 3.5. Yeah, look, on this side, almost nothing. See, very light right there. And of course, we sometimes do this with the sock too. We go, how does the bridge? But this bridge is made of rubber. So, I mean, it's not going to have any issues there. I guess if your hand hits a piece of rubber and gets hurt, I guess you're really sensitive. People say people are sensitive in their hands, but that's really sensitive. Fretwork is very good. Another thing too, very shiny. Very polished. So we could check the nut to see how it's cut, but I can tell again, that's perfect. We're gonna push down the 3rd fret. There's absolutely, considering there's no buzz and no dead frets, it makes me wonder if they get away with, I wonder if you get away with the lower action because the notes don't have to ring very long. I mean it's dying pretty fast. So, very cool. Let's do some measurements. On the nut, we have 44.84 millimeters, or 1.765. On the 12th fret, we have 54.88 millimeters, or 2.160. Thickness at the 1st fret is 20.30 millimeters, or 0.799. And thickness at the 12th fret is 22.16 millimeters, or 0.872. I want to see if we can find the shape of this neck, and I want to start here. That's the shape right there. That is a U-shaped template. So a little flatter than they say. So they say C shape, but if you were using a template to carve this neck, you'd be using a U-shaped template. So flat. Could be like a D as well, but that particular template was for a U-shaped neck. So U-shaped neck, a little flat, feels really comfortable. So other things to mention is we have binding on the front and the back of the guitar. And the binding is done beautifully. No rough edges, looks there. You have the output jack here in the corner. It's not on the back of the instrument. There's always pluses and negatives to that. Some players like it, prefer it here. Obviously, you can crack the end. That's one of the things you're taking a chance of versus when it goes to the back. The reason is there's a block of wood right there. So if they go through the back, it's anchored into a block of wood versus just on this very thin, like 1/8 inch piece of ply. But here's what I will tell people in my experience is this jack is not, I mean, you have to be able to, careful with it. But if you have a solid back and sides guitar and there's a hole there, it's a little bit dangerous. But with plywood, you got wood grain going 2 different directions, 3 different directions, because usually the ply is at least 3 thick. So a 3-ply piece of wood with glue in between each sheet. I mean, it's going to take, if you use a L-shaped guitar cable, I can't imagine you're going to damage that. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll take a deeper look at the guitar. The fretboard is rosewood. It's very dark. You can see right there, it looks great. Look how nice that looks. Actually, it's one of the nicest pieces I've seen in a while. And this is a bleached bone nut. That's important to mention here. So it is a bone nut. The thing that I keep getting when I do the acoustic reviews, I kept getting in the comments, I got a bunch, and I got some on Patreon too, and they're like, it's not a deep dive review. It's not a good review if I don't cut the guitar open and take a look at it. So I'm like, all right, so let's do that. So let's cut the guitar in half, safety first. Get out my saw here. And we'll just cut this in half and look inside. Okay, ready? Or I can do what I've done for the last couple years. Just thought about it. And we'll use my scope camera. This goes back to my Army mechanic days. I'm going to use this 1080p camera with a light and a scope and look inside the guitar, and we'll donate this guitar to Guitars for Vets. So that's what we're going to do. So I hope you guys do not mind. All right, let's go ahead and feed the camera in here and see what we see. The bracing looks nice and tight. There's not a lot of glue in there considering the price. Look at the bottom right here. You can see, again, very clean. Not seeing a whole lot of stuff. Let's go a little deeper into the guitar, if you don't mind. And you can see here, again, the braces are very clean. Very nicely done considering, the price points of these guitars. I mean, they're not inexpensive, but they're not super expensive. I'm impressed with the workmanship. Very nice. So what we'll do is, instead of destroy the guitar, we'll donate it to Guitars for Vets. So I will contact them after the video is done. And we'll do that instead of destroy it. But I appreciate your guys' suggestions and wanting the videos to be more thorough. I just... I cannot, as a person who grew up without means, just destroy something, even if, it's insightful for you guys. I think we could learn a lot from the scope and the camera, which is enough to know that the guitar is not slapped together, is not glue dripping off. In my experience, if it's bad, it's going to be very obviously bad. If it's a high-end guitar, you definitely want to spend more time and look a little deeper into it, but for the price points of this guitar. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some sound samples. Now, of course, you can use this with overdrive. You could do blues and slide, but I'm not going to do blues and slide. I'm going to use it in a practical way, which is what I wanted to do. See if I could find a use for it in something I would do. And you know what? I was pleasantly surprised. I'm running it through a Fender Princeton with a little bit of reverb. I'm going to put some overdrive on it too, by the way. And I'm in drop D, so I like the drop D. So my E is to D, and then I'm standard tuning from there. Let me just go ahead and show you why I like it. It's got some cool sounds. So I'm going to play something very familiar, and here it goes. Yeah, it's really strange. At first, you're just like, okay, I get it. It's a muted guitar. But as some of you might know, I'm a bass player. So having a bass with a mute on, I've done that for years, and it's kind of got the same effect. It's got that kind of... Okay, so let's show you something else. Here you go. Ready? So now what I want to do is show you something with a little overdrive pedal on it. So I would imagine one of the questions was, what does it sound like plugged into an amp? I don't know if that's a practical thing for this. It's not much louder than just a semi-hollow guitar. So other than playing it at home, I mean, you wouldn't be able to play with another musician. If there was any other musician in here, it would drown you out. Now that could be one of the practical uses for this, is just practicing at home. So if this makes you more curious about buying a rubber bridge guitar or making one for yourself, sometimes when you're doing reviews like this, you're more focused about just giving people the information. This one was one where I was like, the whole way, I was like, this is a lot of fun. And so I gotta say, if you're interested in this, definitely check one out. Especially, like I said, I want to thank Orangewood for sending this out, especially since we're going to be able to send it to Guitars for Vets. And I think someone will definitely enjoy it there, or maybe they'll auction off and use the money. Either way, it's going to a good cause, and I want to thank Orangewood for making that possible, for you guys making that possible, and for always sticking to the end. I really appreciate that. If you liked this video or learned something or had some fun, please give it a like and subscribe. That would be nice. Till the next time, know your gear.